Hello guys and welcome back to HudRod Automotive, and today we are working again on the Mini Cooper S and should be the final day of work. So what we got to do today is we have got to bleed the system and put the whole front bumper and mudguards and wheels and stuff back on. The engine itself theoretically is done, so everything's tight, it's running, it just needs coolant in it. So it's got no coolant in it right now. All of the radiator and everything is together, so this will be a time we'll find out leaks as well. So far we haven't had any oil or fuel leaks, so hasn't been running for a very long time though, so we'll see how that goes. I think first thing on the agenda is probably I might just put 1 or 2 bolts in that to neaten it up a little bit. We've got the aircon and that connected, which is to do with the fan, I believe. I'm just going to make sure all the wires that need to be connected are connected engine wise. ABS stuff and all that jazz can wait for now. So yeah, let's get to it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this thing will be driving today. As you were seeing there, for now I've just put the two bolts there, one of the locator bolts and then a nut, locator bolt and a nut there. They're quite hard to line up, but I did get them there in the end. And so the crash bar is on now. It's looking much more like a car. I could wire up quite a few things now before I started bleeding it, because there's not really much left. It's just bumpers and wheel wells, so I might do that now just for the sake of lights on the dash. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just connect up all the lights, all the wires, because it's only the fog lights and the ABS sensors and stuff like that down there. And we'll see how we go. So it turns out the ABS connector was already connected this side, so that's just I mean, I can undo the fog light, to be honest, down here, but yeah, so that was just fog lights and hello, that doesn't really matter on that, but fog light and side lights and stuff left here, and then the 2 ABS connectors were disconnected here. One's maybe part of the traction control as well, but those 2 there are now connected. These are just lights. That's the fog light there. I think side lights and stuff like that when it is all back on, because there's no more sensors engine wise, because that's all part of the harness there. So this is now connected as well. Fuse box, there's nothing to go in there. The ECU is already done. Like I said, the engine's running and there's actually no engine management lights on. So let's get her started and we will start the bleeding process. A lot of grease on that exhaust manifold. It's gonna stink. Get some more coolant in. It's at temperature now, but it's not going over. We have got heat inside the cabin, so I know it's circulating somehow. I'm going to give it a couple of revs for some burps, see if we can get some burps out of it. So we're fast starting to get our couple of dribbles out of the other hose here. Obviously that's getting very hot as well. And as you can see inside the car, we are keeping temp. There's no engine management lights, but there is obviously some brake lights and tyre pressure lights and stuff like that. And I don't know, can't hear the power steering, so that could be a bit of an issue, but I might just not have pushed it in far enough. So I've now put the cap back on to add a bit of pressure into the system. So I turned it off and I opened up the cap and a load of air flew out. Then I turned it back on and everything seemed to calm down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back together now. We need to go for a test drive. I need to see if the ABS lights work. I need to see if the power steering works. Before I do everything else, though, I am going to go underneath the car and test out and see if, make sure the power steering is plugged in all the way. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. And I'll put you on a time lapse to show you. Man, it's actually quite warm today considering it's the winter, which is always not complaining. The front bar is completely on now, and the two those crash protectors, I guess, or part of the subframe anyway, to give strength to the front bar or whatever, they're all on. So all of that is now on. So now it's got to be front bumper, and then we have got to get on the wheel wells as well, and then the wheels, and then we're good. So bumper is going on. Okay, so bumper's back on. Pretty much everything is back on, as you saw, and it looks like a Mini again. The wheels need to go back on now. The only thing that I'm quite worried about is the power steering, but hopefully once we put load on it, the power steering works, but I'm not sure. Might be something we have to go into, but in the grand scheme of things, if the power steering is not working right now, I'm not as anxious as the engine not working, for example. Just check the bolts on the drive shaft and everything. I might quickly stake those as well, just in case, and then it's time for a test drive. So all is fingers are crossed and toes are crossed and everything is crossed that the clutch now works beautifully. So we shall see. Right, let's get to it. Here we go. It's first time on all four wheels in way too long. So let's see if she starts off on her own battery power. She does, which is interesting. Very interesting. Have we got any power steering? We do. It's very quiet though. Well, let's see. Is she going to move forward? Is she going to be easy to put in gear? Clutch down. Whoa! I can't lie to you. It's not the easiest car to put in gear, but the clutch is also brand new. And it's moving. That's the main thing. And it's easier to put into gear than it was before. So the clutch is brand new. Maybe that's just because the clutch is brand new, but I think that's a success. Let's just see she holds temperature, etc. The fan comes on straight away now. Power steering's working. I just need to drive around the block to see if we can get the traction control lights off. So just see if we can reverse. We can reverse, and I mean, it's not that much easier to put into gear, but the clutch is brand new, so it shouldn't be. I mean, it's easier than it was before, that's the main thing. So I don't know, we'll see if it deteriorates, but let's take it for a test drive and see this time if we can change as we're going along, because that was another problem. So if we can do that, and I know it's a lot better. I'm pretty excited now, can't lie. Just topped up the oil, just needed a little bit more. Obviously the oil filter took up a little bit, and yeah, just gonna check the water level. Oh, bit of pressure in there. The water level is good, so going to clear up all of this jazz, and then I'm going to go for a test drive, and hopefully I think Cameron is around the corner, so he's going to be able to join us for the first test drive. Hopefully it puts the same amount of smile on our face as much work we put into it. Does that make sense? Basically, hopefully it's all worth it and we are giggling our heads off because of this nippy supercharged Cooper S, and not like, was it really worth it? So we'll find out that in about, well, in the next scene. First, I'm going to clear up, wash up my hands, and also I'll chuck in this pollen filter as well, because I guess the car deserves it now. And I'm afraid that test drive is going to have to be in the next video. So make sure you tune in for that video, because not everything may have gone to plan. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and we will see you in the next one.